Well, no, it's just like, okay, you're lonely. What am I, chopped liver? Really? No one understands you. What am I doing then? Oh, okay, so I don't exist. No, it's fine. You said you don't have anyone to, okay, so then I'm not here. I'm a ghost. If your life is so bad and I'm part of your life, go ahead. Go ahead. Keep going.
Man, this is eerie.
I am listening. It's just like you're really going to talk about being sad, which means that you've been sad every time you've ever hung out with me. Okay, so that's, it's like I'm not getting any credit for like listening to you and like being your.
Welcome back to Chow Time Pod. It's your host, Red. I got a video today from Alexander Grace. Apparently, us wanting traditional women is a red flag. Apparently, we're looking for sex slaves and to oppress our wives. Please like and subscribe down below. I really appreciate that. Let's get to that chow. It's chow time.
Men who fetish traditional women and obsess over women that are modest, obedient, quiet, and homemakers are walking red flags. They are insecure boys that are intimidated by strong, confident women. Get a dog if you want obedience.
Have you ever heard the expression that, like, I've never met a woman who didn't have the ability to make a situation about herself? You might think that a man expressing his preference for a woman with traditional values, someone who's kind, who's feminine, who treats him well, that's a statement about him, about his preferences, his values. But that's not what she hears. Somewhere between the words leaving his mouth and entering her ears, those words, they go through like a magical transformation, and suddenly it's not a statement about him. No, it's about her. It's a personal attack on her.
I see why it is, because they don't qualify. Once they don't qualify for the things you say that you are having a preference towards, they automatically assume that that's an attack because they don't fit into the standard that you just set.
A lot of women possess this incredible ability to take whatever it is that you say, whether it's neutral or it's just about you, and then somehow make it about them. The main character syndrome is so deeply embedded into their psyche that they literally cannot even conceive of there being a situation or a story being told that doesn't have them at the absolute center. And this is not me as a man being sexist pointing this out. Women are very aware of this phenomenon from other women. There's a whole genre on TikTok of women making fun of their female friends for always making every situation about themselves. Women know better than anybody else how other women do this. Make everything personal, make it about themselves.
Almost every woman I've ever dealt with, that I've ever said anything in general, has always taken that generality towards themselves. As much as I say, women are kind of like, a little selfish here and there. I'm not selfish. Did I say you were selfish? I just said women are generally kind of selfish. I never said you were, but they always take it as them. Anything that you generalize, anything that you say that they can fit into the category, but they don't fit, that's when I take offense to it.
Watch this demonstration clip of a woman showing how you can even take a friend's sadness and make it about yourself. Make yourself a victim.
Well, no, it's just like, okay, you're lonely. What am I, chopped liver? Really? No one understands you. What am I doing then? Oh, okay, so I don't exist. No, it's fine. You said you don't have anyone to, okay, so then I'm not here. I'm a ghost. If your life is so bad and I'm part of your life, go ahead. Go ahead. Keep going.
Man, this is eerie.
I am listening. It's just like you're really going to talk about being sad, which means that you've been sad every time you've ever hung out with me. Okay, so that's, it's like I'm not getting any credit for like listening to you and like being your friend.
I know that woman is acting, but I found that unnerving how accurate her portrayal was. I feel like I've heard those exact things said in that exact manner many times in my life.
Same.
Impressive, really. It's like a superpower. No matter how much a situation is actually just about you, there's going to be a woman out there who somehow, in some manner, is going to be able to make it about her. Now, women understand this. That's why they tease each other about this. They make fun of each other because they understand that impulse to want to have the spotlight, to want to be the center of attention. You've ever heard a bunch of women speaking with each other in a group? They're like constantly interrupting each other, just wanting to talk about themselves. It's exhausting to listen to. And as men, it can be very difficult to relate to because a lot of us, we like to hold back. We don't want the spotlight. We're happy to be on the sidelines. There's not that same impulse to just turn absolutely every situation about ourselves, but it can make it very, very difficult for men to navigate these situations when they come up. Men get really confused by this. They're trying to talk to their girlfriend about some issue they're facing or some problem they're solving, and instead of helping, the woman just hijacks the conversation and makes it about herself. This is not an accident, do you understand? Like, for a lot of women, if you give them the choice between hearing something and then interpreting it in a neutral way and hearing something and making it personal, they will choose to make it personal. That's what they want because it means attention. It means drama, excitement. She would way rather have a conversation about her than a conversation about you.
This is why you just let women talk, guys. You go on dates, just let them talk, share their lives, let them just spill all the beans. You know, they love doing it anyways. So just the more they talk, the more they're going to vet themselves out for you. The more they'll tell you, because they'll tell on themselves on every single aspect of their life if you let them and give them enough time.
Say to your girlfriend, oh, I think I'm going to go have a shower, get dressed now. That way we're not late to the party. And she responds, what, do you think that I take too long to get dressed? Are you saying it's my fault that we're always late?
Oh my God. This is so fucking true right here. Yeah, just because I want to do something early and be prepared myself, they take it as what? So I'm a slob and I don't get ready fast enough? No, I just need to get ready early. So I'm making sure everything's good. God damn it.
Everything. You say, look, can we talk about this tomorrow? I'm really tired. I worked really hard today. I'm just too exhausted to have this conversation. And she responds, are you saying I didn't work hard today? You think that you're the only one who works, that I don't work? You say, no, baby, look, I'm sorry. No, I didn't mean any of that. Look, I don't want to fight tonight. I just want to relax. And she responds with, oh, so you're saying I want to fight. If we have an argument, it's my fault.
God damn, Alex. You fucking hit it on the nose with this, dude. Oh my God. I've dealt with this with so many women. It is crazy.
Cause of all of our issues. Is that what you're saying? You see, this is not an accident that the conversation is going this way. This is what she wants. When a woman is determined to take whatever you're doing, whatever you're saying personally, so that she can play out a victimhood narrative, it's very difficult for you as a man in her proximity to make any choices that are about you because that lens of interpretation pushing her towards that victimhood story, it's just so strong. It sucks everything in like a vortex. Observe.
Hey, what's up?
Hey.
What you doing?
Nothing.
How was your day?
What did you call me?
Good.
That's cool.
So you just gonna play the game instead of talk to me?
What?
You just gonna play the game instead of talk to me?
No, I was just...
No, you know what? You can play the game if you want to. Bye.
Hello?
So you're not gonna call me back?
What? You hung up on me?
No, it's fine if you don't want to talk to me. You can play the game. Goodbye.
Why do women always take things so personally? Why do they assume that it's about them? Why do they want that? What is the psychology operating here? What exactly is going on inside the mind of a woman? It encourages women to only think about themselves. When you hear the words female empowerment, you know they're not talking about respect for men, cooperating with men, learning from men, entering into mutually beneficial partnerships with men. No, that's not what female empowerment means. To be an empowered woman in this culture has a very specific meaning, and it's quite different if you were a man. When we think of an empowered man, we think about what he gives back. Someone who's a
True.
leader, who employs people, gives them jobs. A husband who provides for his wife and children. We support a man being an empowered man because we know that he's going to use that empowerment to provide and support for others. But an empowered woman has a very different meaning. An empowered woman has a completely selfish agenda. It's all for her benefit. An empowered woman is someone who looks out for herself, who only thinks about herself. And it explicitly means the rejection of men, not
This is why if women were to build the world, they wouldn't have built all the gadgets and everything that we have because they don't care. They don't care enough to build these things for other people and other sex and other things. Where men built and created a lot of things that men don't get to enjoy. There's a lot of inventions that are made specifically for women. There's a lot of inventions made specifically for certain groups of people. There's a lot of inventions made for left-handed people. And they're the minority.
not working with them, ignoring men and men's needs and focusing on yourself. That's female empowerment. Female empowerment, by definition, means male exploitation. Women empower themselves at the expense of men.
What should a wedding ring cost?
Like 10,000.
10,000.
Yeah. 62,000.
Why such a specific number?
I have one in mind already, and if it's not that one, it's not it. No.
What about you?
60,000.
60,000.
50,000 at least.
When coming up with these figures, 40,000, 50,000, 62,000, do you think that these women are spending any time at all thinking about the sacrifice that the man is going to have to make in order to buy her this vanity object? Here's a dialogue that every one of these women should be having inside of their mind. Like, would I like a nice expensive ring? Of course. Who doesn't like pretty objects? It's going to make me smile and my happiness is important. On the other hand, in order to afford a $50,000 ring, my man, who I love, is going to have to work thousands of hours of overtime at a job he probably hates. And he'd rather be spending time relaxing, on the golf course or going out fishing. So let's weigh these two things up, shall we? Like, my happiness at having an expensive ring that gives me an ego boost, or my man suffering and slaving away when he should be able to relax. Any woman who weighs up those factors and then doesn't reach the conclusion of, you know what, my man's mental health is more important than me having an expensive ring, she's just a walking red flag. She doesn't view you as a human being worthy of consideration. Again, it's all about her. Men, let me give you some straight talk for a moment. You cannot afford to ignore this. If you're tempted to think like, oh yeah, but all women are a bit self-involved. Yeah, of course they're going to make it about themselves. They're women, we just got to put up with it. No, you got to have higher standards in this. You don't understand how dangerous the game is that you're playing. Do you understand the implications here? If you allow a woman to be that self-involved where everything is always about her, there's not going to be any room for you, for your...
It's not just you. There's no room for the kids. If she's that self-absorbed when you do have kids, she's still going to be self-absorbed. Tell the truth, I don't even really care if she's that, super into me and, doting on me. I care if she's doting on the kids more than anything. If she's just a normal person and we just have a normal relationship, she doesn't have to be doting. But if she's not doting on the kids and, super on the kids, that's a huge red flag and a huge red problem to me. So... just seeing the selfishness beforehand, I know this person can't handle a kid, can't handle sharing the spotlight with the kid, can't handle putting the kid in front of her.
Personal existence. It's going to slowly erase your identity as you gradually lose the ability to state preferences, to make choices that are about you, because everything is now always about her. At that point, you don't exist. Men need to have the freedom to be able to state their preferences, make their choices about themselves, and not have it be interpreted by their female partner as a personal attack upon them. This is not a luxury, this is a necessity. If you don't understand what I'm talking about, please pay attention in this next section. It's vital that you get this. Let's take a typical example of a man expressing preferences about himself. He might say, I like feminine women. I want to date a feminine woman who treats me kindly. That is a statement of...
You like a slave. You want a slave. You want an obedient slave. That's exactly how women interpreted that word.
about him and about his preferences. End of story. But enter into the situation a woman who decides that she wants to take that personally. But I'm not a feminine woman. Like, why are you trying to change me? Why are you trying to control me? Do you see how suffocating it would be to be in a relationship with a woman who did not grant you the freedom, the right to express your thoughts, to express your preferences about yourself, about just you as a sovereign individual? If she is inherently codependent and just makes everything about herself, then you cease to exist. She's just like this black hole that sucks in everything around her. It's all about her. She's the center of gravity. Suddenly, you've lost the freedom to talk about what it is that you like, what your preferences are, what your standards are. No, now everything that you do is interpreted through the lens of you trying to control her.
Why is it controlling? How about a guy just has some standards for himself and he's saying to himself, if I'm going to date you and we're going to be exclusive and I'm going to prioritize you in multiple ways, I have expectations of you, which means that you're not going to go out, get sloppy drunk with your friends, be around a bunch of guys that are going to be like, the whole time, and maybe behave badly because people make not so great decisions when they drink.
Yep.
And why are you putting yourself in that situation? I don't want to give my exclusivity to someone who's going to voluntarily put themselves in those situations. And by the way, if you have me and you're so happy with me, why do you need to do all of that?
That right there, that is what we've lost. Everything that she just said makes complete sense. It's completely reasonable, completely rational. But in this culture, it doesn't seem like men have that freedom to make these preferences known, to state these standards out loud. In a culture where
he's right. We're just seen as walking wallets. We're only seen as accessories to women's lives. This is why they don't care about our preferences. They don't care about what these things are because they can get any man, in a sense, to fall for them. They have plenty of them in the DMs. And those DMs, they're still going to give them stuff. They're going to give them the things that they want. This is the sad thing. Even though these women don't care for men and have these high standards, there's still a group of men, the simps out there, will still give these women the time of day and their resources. So, of course, if they're still going to be able to act this way and still get resources, why would they ever change?
Every woman is taking everything personally. He's not allowed to make statements about himself. No, everything that he's saying is interpreted through this lens of he's criticizing, he's controlling. It's not about him, the man. It's about me, the woman. It's always about me. And you see, this is why I don't think when women are taking everything that's happening around them personally and making it about themselves, I don't think this is an accident. I don't think that this is like a mistake that they're making in good faith. They're not slipping up and being like, oh, whoops, I guess I shouldn't have taken everything so personally. Well, what an accident. I think that the truth is way darker than that. When a woman is incapable of listening to your perspective as a man and accepting that you're talking about yourself, you're not talking about her, when she can't hear your thoughts and opinions as neutral, if she feels personally insulted at everything that you say and do, what I think that reveals is that she doesn't see you as a fellow human being. She genuinely doesn't have a conception of you as having like an independent existence. You're not a real human being in the same way that she is. She has thoughts.
You're just a purse that speaks to her and gives her extra purses, in a sense, that produces more purses. And that's all you are, that she gets to bring you around to all of her friends, show you off a little bit and saying, look, I got a purse and it produces more purses for me. That's all it is. It's not even, oh, he's a good man or anything. No, he produces purses for me.
Has emotions. She has perspectives. She matters. She exists, which is why it makes sense that the stuff that's going on around her, that's about her. But in her mind, you, a man, you don't really exist. You're irrelevant. She's spending no time thinking about you or your perspective. Of course, she's making it about herself because as far as she can tell, she's the only real person in the room. Of course, it's going to be about her because you don't matter. It's completely dehumanizing. And I'm sure a bunch of you guys in the audience, you can relate to what I'm talking about. You've been in a relationship, a friendship, a romantic relationship, whatever it might be, with a woman who made everything about herself. You seemed incapable of talking about yourself, your own life experiences, your own opinions without her automatically sucking it all up and making it about herself. Didn't you feel in those situations like you didn't exist, you didn't matter in her eyes? I know that this is scary to contemplate the implications, but really, What other explanation is there for women who are completely comfortable to just be like, yeah, I need $50,000 engagement ring. That's what I deserve, with zero thought as to what it's going to take from the man to be able to afford that? How can you reach any other conclusion than the woman is deeply sexist and believes that her happiness is so much more important than his? She matters. She's important. What he has to do to make her happy, irrelevant. I don't even think about it. And while
And this is why I push passport bros. Yes, there's feminism is everywhere. Yes, in a lot of these countries, there's still some, modern women, but a lot of these countries, Southeast Asian, South America, Africa countries, a lot of more traditional women are there. And these women truly do care about your happiness. They truly care if you are, happy because it affects them. They understand that your happiness affects their livelihood, affects the kids, affects the house. Where women here, it doesn't affect them because they get to live in this bubble of a world that no other person sees.
I've been talking about this on an individual level, I believe that this is what's happening collectively whenever we talk about men's rights.
Yes.
Have you ever had this experience of talking
This
to
is
a
exactly what
woman
happened
about
when we
the
talk about our
men's
rights.
rights movement, and their first reaction is surprise, like, huh? Like, what are you talking about? Like, I've never heard of any of this before. What men's mental health epidemic? What's this suicide rate? What do you mean there's no domestic violence shelters for men? What do you mean that child custody is incredibly unfair and biased? I don't even understand what you're talking about. Like, I've never heard of this. It's not even like the specifics of those issues that shock women. It's like the idea that men could have issues that just is a complete surprise to them. Why is it a surprise for women to find out that men exist, that men find life hard, that we might have unique struggles? Why is it a complete shock to them to learn this information? Because they've literally spent zero time thinking about it.
Women have to go through cramps, periods. Men have to go through not that much shit.
So, okay, so you just listed some problems that women have. Don't men have problems as well?
Yeah. Fucking random boners.
That's the only problems that we have?
What are some other problems that men have?
I mean, most suicide victims are men. Isn't that a problem that we have?
So do women.
She's told that male suicide is an epidemic, and what's her response? Women deal with that too. Instantly making it about her, like a reflex. You understand? It's not...
How many times we've talked to women and mentioned men's issues, and what did they say? Women deal with it too. It's funny when we say that men deal with it too, you disregard it, but when we say something, you seem to always want to counter back that women do it too.
Not hyperbole when I say that some women are literally incapable of understanding that men are humans like they are, that we deserve dignity, that we deserve respect, that we deserve consideration. Some women literally cannot hear about a problem that a man is having without making it about themselves. Men suffering, completely unimportant, free to just ignore it, laugh about it even. A woman suffering, sacred, precious, we must do everything that we can.
Oh, pressure.
What other explanation could there possibly be for that double standard than a very deep, very dark sexism at the hearts of many women? And are these women deeply ashamed about their dehumanizing views on men?
Fuck no,
they think it's funny.
What's your type?
I got the abs, nice skin, tall.
Okay. What about you? Man, I like me something real slim. You know what I'm saying? I like me something, big bone, real slim.
Oh, that's body shaming.
Tell me how you just said the same thing I did. So how's that body shaming? Respectfully.
Cause guys don't have feelings. Like, this fuck guys. We body shaming all these girls. You gotta look nice for your girl.
All right, but you know what? Double standards. Jada Pickett. That's all I'm gonna say. Respectfully. Champagne.
You gotta be impressed. In that one short clip, not only did she manage to make it completely about herself, but she also revealed the truth for how so many women view modern men. They don't have feelings. With women like this, the temptation is just to go up to them and look them in the eyes. Just force them to look at you, to acknowledge that there's humanity inside you. Like, hey, you see me, right? You see, I exist. I have thoughts, I have feelings, I have suffering, just like you. It's so much easier to treat people badly when you strip them of their humanity. Men aren't real humans, they don't have feelings, give me a break. He's not expressing a preference, he's trying to control women. In a world where only women are important, that's the only possible explanation. At the collective level, the idea that there could be a movement concerned for the welfare and suffering of men is just inconceivable to some women. Why would you be concerned about the plight of men? Remember, men aren't real humans. That's just a cover. It's not about protecting men.
Damn good Chow from Alex, man. Like, I love his content. I love how he goes about things. He's not pushing, the extreme of one side nor extreme of another side. He sees the problem of both sides, and we're working to try to commingle them into one cohesive problem, in a sense, that we can all talk about. Please like a strap down below. I really appreciate that, and I'll catch you guys next time. Ciao.